Frida. Finding Frida.
Okay. Let's see. Stay here, Frida.
This is the best.
Stay here.
Hi, Frida.
Yeah.
Hi,
No, she doesn't, and she wants to go out, but now no. Mom is out.
She wants to escape the
Mom is out, and I'm alone here. You can't go out.
She's
So
beautiful.
Frida, I wore this for you.
Look at.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Call Up. Jillian Sakovitz alongside Susanna Collins.
What's up?
Coming to you from our live Call Up Commune studios. We have a great episode for you all today. One of the best character coaches, perhaps, in MLS is Vanni Sartini, the man from Florence, Italy, now living in Vancouver, Canada. So obviously, we're speaking to him on the morning of the Canadian Championship, Vancouver Whitecaps. Taking on Toronto FC. The competition started in 2008 and Vancouver has won it just once back in 2015. So if you're one of those day of listeners that just cannot wait for the call up,
We love you.
You'll
Number one. Thank you.
And number two, you'll get his pregame feels at the end of the interview ahead of the Canadian Championship. But the interview itself is just really about who Vanni Sartini is, his winding road from pizza delivery to soccer back, and it's like soccer was always a part of it, and he's found a way to make soccer a part of it, and now he finds himself a manager of a major league soccer team. It's really a great story, and in talking to him, Suze, you see why he's a manager of a team. It's really incredible.
He is so cerebral. And he is incredibly smart and well-read and well-rounded. I think all of the experiences that he had growing up, just kind of, when you are that well-rounded, I think it really enhances your position as a coach. You're able to relate to people on so many different levels. He runs his team like a democracy. I mean, he's very into politics as well. And it's just, he's one of the, like those commercials, the most interesting man in the world. Like that could be.
He even has like the facial hair.
Vanni Sartini.
Interesting.
He is. He's fascinating and he's lovely. And most importantly, we got to meet his cat, Frida.
Not Frida, but this was an homage to Frida. We met Frida, and by meeting Frida, we got a tour of Vanni Sartini's apartment.
We did. We went on a hunt for Frida. It was Find Frida.
Find Frida. So that's now I want a Frida, you want a Frida.
Yeah.
I don't know how June would do with that, but let's be honest, Frida was pretty beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
And before we get into our interview with Vanni Sartini, manager of the Vancouver Whitecaps, Suzanne and I, we had a reason to get dressed.
Oh my gosh.
To go into the big city for the night. We got an invite to NYCFC's ring ceremony. One, gorgeous. But two, the event itself, Suze, really could have been a fashion show.
Oh my.
Like a catwalk.
Goodness.
Get it.
So true story. Yes, Jill and I were invited in a non-working capacity, which rarely
really
happens
shocked everybody.
for us.
What are you doing
We were just guests for the first time. It was crazy. And we were sat at a table. I will say, Jill, our view wasn't the best.
What, I think there was 30 tables. It was wedding style.
Yes.
Table number.
It felt like
table 20 was obstructed by
It was obstructed view.
The best part was it was a big pillar in the middle of the room, but it was mirrored. So you'd see Tati Castellanos walk up the steps, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, this is the moment!
He's gonna get the ring!" And then
all of a sudden, you just see yourself. It was great.
But these fellas, these NYCFC players, let me tell you,
really well dressed.
The best dressed team in MLS.
Okay, and we have to split who we're giving it to.
Yeah.
Alexander Callens.
He wins for me. He looked like he won a Grammy.
Tavon Gray.
Oh, he was great
with the
too.
suspenders.
And the bow tie.
So we're just telling you, New York, not surprisingly, they kicked it up a notch. And something that's in amongst the guys that I didn't know is, okay, yeah, this event's at 9:00 at night. So if you're not going to wear your sunglasses, even though it's nighttime and you're inside, you put them on your pocket so that you show that you still but these sunglasses, if I was at the beach, is what I'd have.
It's like
new
in lieu of
Didn't
a
know
pocket
about that.
square. We put the sunglasses in. It's the new accessory.
So anyway, that was our big night out. Clearly, we still haven't gotten over it, but take a listen to Vanni.
Time now for our AT&T 5G call to the field. We are absolutely thrilled to bring in the head coach of the Vancouver Whitecaps and one of the best cat dads around Vanni Sartini. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the pod.
No, thank you for having me. Yeah.
As I mentioned, we are borderline obsessed with your cat, Frida. We are going to talk a lot about her a little bit later on. You also have a huge match coming up, so we're going to dive into that as well. But Vanni, we have wanted to chat with you for a long time because you are one of our favorite characters in MLS. We feel so lucky to have you in this league as a coach. You have such an interesting story. You were born in Florence. Your dad played semi-professional soccer. You played as well. But your mom was like a very intellectual person, bookish woman. And I feel like your background is so very interesting. Can you kind of tell us about how, coming from that background, coaching found you?
Well, it's you summarized pretty well. The passion for I would say for the game came from my dad. My dad and my uncle actually, they were playing, and I remember my granddad was driving me with a Vespa when I was a little kid to look at to watch them playing. And so I got that passion from that side of the family. From my mom, actually, was even the earliest memory of my mom was when we were at the like in summer at the beach. She always had a book in her hands, and she was trying to put me, I would say, tell me that there are priorities like education or something else in life. And I think that these two things matched perfectly, in the sense that I love to play soccer. I wasn't that good. It was okay I was okay to be like a good amateur player, but I knew immediately when I started that I liked a lot to study the game. I liked a lot to be a part of the game and I knew that coaching was my true calling, and that's the reason why I started coaching immediately when I finished playing 15 years ago, and started this I would say very lucky journey that brought me here now.
So last year, we got to learn a little bit more about you when you were on our other podcast, Extra Time Radio. And you said that you text your dad before each game to wake him up in Florence. It's a 9-hour time difference, right, to Vancouver?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
To watch your matches, he's wearing his Vancouver jersey through Italy. Are you still waking him he's going to wake up in the morning and be able to watch the Canadian Championship?
Yeah. It's a ritual. I have to do it, and to be honest. Once we were playing, I don't remember where. I think we were playing in Dallas, and I forgot to send the text. And before the game, my phone, right before going to do the final speech before the play, my phone was ringing, and it was my dad is telling me, "Hey, you forgot to send me the text." That's so it's it's a thing that is still going on. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
So he knows, he just really wants the text.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I love that ritual. I feel like my parents would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I'm an only child, so I'm a little spoiled. So that's the thing.
Exactly. Those texts mean everything to the parents. I totally get it. Vanni, before you were named the head coach last year, you had an interesting title. You were the director of methodology for the Vancouver Whitecaps. Can you tell us exactly what that means?
Yeah, it means basically when I was the assistant coach before of the first team in 2019 and 2020. At the end of 2020, the club approached me to say, "Hey, we want to reignite the academy, and we want you to take the lead on that, and we want you to coach our second team, WFC2, and then be kind of in charge of the development of players and coaches." And I said, "Okay, I like it, but I don't like the title Academy Director. It sounds so corporate to me. It sounds very that you are in charge of also revenue and other things." I say, if I'm doing it, I want to be focused on everything that happened on the field. I want to really create a common methodology of work for all our academy to go from the U14 to the U23 to the second team, working with the coaches in for their development. So that's the reason why I didn't come up with the term. Other clubs that were using it, like with the term of director of methodology, because I was very much focused on everything that was happening on the pitch, and I wasn't too much focused on what happening outside the pitch. Luckily, we have a very good administrative staff at the Whitecaps, because if not, if I would have to be focused on what happened outside the pitch, the club would be in trouble.
Vanni, so that's, you've had a really interesting journey at Vancouver, but let's talk about your journey to Vancouver.
Yes.
Before you were a coach, you had a lot of interesting jobs.
Yeah.
You know who it reminded me of a little bit?
Schmetzer.
Brian Schmetzer of Seattle, and how he worked in construction and at his parents' store prior. So you were a courier, a marketing rep, pizza delivery guy.
Yeah.
I used to work in a pizza shop,
I did too.
Slice of New York.
I did too.
Yeah.
Didn't we all? So can you take us through the trajectory to being a head coach, a manager of a team?
Yeah, as I said before, as a player, I wasn't that good of a player. So I always played in lower league. When in Italy, you make a little money, but you don't make enough money. You need to have a real job. Soccer was always my second job. So for the first year, soccer was able to, I would say, help me pay even my study too. I was able to graduate from college. I did a master's degree, I did a PhD, blah, blah, blah. And and after that, I started working. And every time I was also doing some kind of odd job, like for 3-4 months, like kind of the pizza delivery, like the courier, those kinds of things. Then right after college, I was still playing, and I started working for this little company. We were doing software for law firms. And I did all the marketing plan. I did all the customer service, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. And that was it till I stopped playing, when I actually started working in soccer, but in a kind of administrative role. So I was lucky that my town, Florence, hosts the National Training Center. And so they hired me basically to do a lot of statistics and research about the game. That helped me a lot also to really get in touch with a lot of high-level coaches. And I had the kind of a coaching education that was longer than usual, because I was talking to high-level coaches every day. I started coaching, get a little success in the lower league, get higher. But the big change of my life happened when in Europe, UEFA decided to create a program where different coaching schools had to exchange ideas. And I was very lucky that I was the only one with a coaching degree in Italy that was able to speak English and Spanish. And so they asked me to do it. And so on behalf of the federation, I became a coach educator for all the international stuff. So I went, you name a country, I've been there on behalf of the Italian Federation, either to teach or to learn. And that brought me to become a better coach, to have a better even connection. Livorno called me to be the assistant coach. And then after being an assistant coach at Livorno, the US Soccer Federation called me to work for them. So that's the reason. That's the road that brought me to North America.
Wow. Well-rounded.
Very.
Right?
Yeah, the multiple languages, I know it's more common in Europe, but
Absolutely.
That's your mother's side. That's your mother's intellectual
But also, like, how many,
languages.
there's so many skills that have been put into place. That's thank you for sharing that. It's a really cool story. Speaking of pizza, I know you have gone on record saying that pizza is your favorite food. Obviously, the best pizza in the world is in Italy. I have eaten pizza in Florence, can attest. It is absolutely tremendous. There was a video that you did when I think like you were making pizzas. Did you do this for the Whitecaps? Was there?
It's like an instructional video.
Yeah, it was like an instructional video, a pizza.
I did
video.
probably
Or like maybe with the
during the pandemic we did pizza.
Yes, that's what it was.
For the Whitecaps, I did lasagna. I did the lasagna.
Oh, the lasagna. Okay.
I did a veggie lasagna.
So if Vanni, if you're making a pizza, what are you putting on it? What are your ingredients?
The base, okay.
The toppings.
So tomato sauce, because there's also the possibility to have what we call white pizza without tomato sauce.
Yes.
But for me, pizza is tomato sauce and mozzarella, they have to be there. Okay. And I would say the buffalo mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella, it's like then it has to be a little bit of basil there for sure. Mm-hmm. And that's the basic margherita. So basil, then you add, I don't think you should add too many things, because if you put a lot of things over, but maybe one ingredient. I'm a vegetarian, so I like mushroom pizza. If you can put,
I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And if you feel, for me, and if you feel in the really that it's a kind of a spicy day, you put a little bit of gorgonzola. And then it's the kick that you need.
Okay, how do you feel about pineapple on pizza? Because that is a thing that people do here, and it is very polarizing.
I know. But again, we need to accept that we are in a different country. That's different way of doing things. The only thing is like you can put whatever you want. I would never put pizza if you have pineapple on pizza, but you if you like it.
I trust Vanni.
Hey, I lived 3 years in Chicago, and they call pizza the deep dish pizza. The pizza is a pie, so it's
delicious, but I agree, it's not technically pizza.
Yeah, but and Chicago's friends don't hate me for that.
So
I'm from Chicago, and no hatred. I'm with you.
I'm from New York. I like to think we have the second best pizza. I'll tell you a funny story. Growing up, we had the place we always went, Sonny's, naturally. Of course, Sonny of the Bronx. And his funny story was he said once to my dad, without cracking a smile, that pizza makes the world go round.
That's beautiful.
Would you agree with that, Vanni?
It's true. I think I'm gonna use it.
Getting hungry now.
This model. Thank you.
Okay, switching gears slightly. Vanni, something else that you are very vocal about is politics, social justice, things that you not only are passionate about but vocal about. How did that kind of creep into your life, and how does that influence your coaching style?
I think a lot. I think that the way that I coach, the way that I manage the group, it's also a reflection on the way that I see the world. There's a couple of examples. I would say I really believe in I don't want to say, let's say, democracy or whatever. Like and the way that I bring this thing to my work is like. With my staff, when we have to take a decision, we have a voting system. So we are 6, me, the 2 assistant coach, the goalkeeper coach, and the 2 analysts. So when we have a doubt on a player, like today we're playing, okay, who we're going to play wingback, we go there and we vote. If it's 4-2 or 5-1 or 6-0, of course, we have an idea. I intervene only if it's 3-3. I'm like the vice president in the Senate.
So it is a democracy.
It's a total democracy.
It's not a theocracy, which most coaching, I think, is coach's way or the highway.
Oh, it's really interesting. I love
that. That's the thing, and I think that the other thing is that I always been a vocal for the way that we play soccer, to play a very full zonal defensive system where everyone is involved. I always say that the team is the leader. I don't like to have the big man in charge. I really like that the team, the tactical principle, and the rule that we set with each other are the leader, and that come from also how I think the life should work, how I think society should work, and we can tell. I'm very left leaning. I'm an outspoken. I would say I'm a socialist. So I think that that reflects also on this way that I work.
So then let us ask you, because what we love to ask coaches is like, what's the one rule then? Because you have obviously have some. What's the one rule that your players can't break? Is it curfew? Is it late to training? Like, what is the Vanni Sartini big rule where you really put your foot down?
I would say two big rule. And then I'm not rule, are more, and it's more like the first rule for me that it's very important is like that we set up a time every time for training session. If you're late, 1 second, you get fined, because it's a lack of respect towards the other guys. It's toward the other guys. The second thing is that at the end of the game, what I like to do, because I don't like to talk in the locker room, I don't like to talk too much, because at the end of the game we are all stressed. We maybe, if we are happy, we are happy, but if we are not happy, we can say things. The only thing that we do, we have to stay in the middle of the pitch. We do a circle. I speak for 30 seconds, very general thing, and then the next time that we talk is in 2 days when we get back. Even if you are angry, or if you are pissed at me because I didn't put you in, or everything, or we lost, if you're not in the circle, that's a big problem, because it means that you don't care about the team.
So always, no matter the result, there's the circle.
Yes, every time.
Okay.
I'm going to pay attention to that now.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, can we dive into Frida?
Yeah, two big things we need to ask you about.
This
Canadian Championship.
That's coming. That's coming. But your cat, Frida.
Where is she?
Where is Frida right now?
She's here, walking.
Frida, come over.
Frida. Well, if you want, I can try.
Yes, please. We've been waiting for this moment.
Let's try. I don't know where is it.
We're getting in a
Finding Frida.
Okay. Let's see. Stay here, Frida.
This is the best.
Stay here.
Hi, Frida.
Hi,
Frida.
No, she doesn't, and she wants to go out, but now no. Mom is out. Mom is out, and I'm alone here. You can't go out.
She's beautiful.
Frida, I wore this for you.
Look at that. Look at that, Frida. Say hi.
Hi, Vanni. So you walk her on a leash, Vanni?
We're trying to. She's very, very shy. So at the moment, what we do is, I live in a condo, so we go out in the alley. She's able to go to the stairs. But when we go,
that's good for a cat.
I know, that is great for a cat.
That's good, but that's I think she had some kind of I don't know, ancestral thing with the elevator. Every time that she sees the elevator, she goes bananas and she wants to come back. So I don't know why.
So what type of cat is she?
She's beautiful.
She's a Bengal cat.
Oh, you get what you pay for. I have a stray cat out of an alleyway in Queens. Can't go outside, can't go in an elevator. You really get what you pay for.
She's beautiful.
She needs to take notes.
How long have you had Frida?
We had Frida now for a year and a half. She's gonna be 2 in November. She's a Scorpio like me, so that's the reason why we.
Spicy. She's got some attitude.
Lastly, I have to ask, who runs? Frida has an amazing Instagram account.
Yes.
Who runs that?
My wife. She's an artist. All the art that you see in my house.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Oh, I like the microphone. That would be good for us.
Look at, he's got a Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that okay, I love New York, but Chicago is the most beautiful city in the
I'm
US.
not offended.
Yeah.
Vanni, where'd you get the name Frida from?
Where did I get Frida?
The name. The idea for the name.
From Frida Kahlo. Because
we were hoping for that.
We knew it.
My wife, she's an artist. Frida Kahlo. It's one of her favorite artists, and I was on board with that. She was a feminist. She was a socialist. So everything.
I mean, I thought I couldn't love Frida any more than I already did, but now it's just next level.
Here we are.
Absolutely next level.
So tonight. Promised to talk about this. You have a very important game. Bragging rights in the country of Canadian soccer. Really. Tuesday, July 26th. Vancouver taking on Toronto FC, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we have to ask, what's kind of been the emotions and the preparations in the midst of an MLS season to know that you have this opportunity ahead of you to get the second title ever for the club?
Yeah, it's big. It's very big, and it's something that it's enormous for the club. As you said before, it would be only the second time that the Whitecaps win this title. It's 7 years that we don't do it. It would qualify us for the Champions League. That is another thing that it's really big, and it's been a little hard in the sense that we had to do like the American team for the US Cup. We had to do 3 rounds of the qualification to reach the final. And sometimes I would say, for example, last Saturday, I think that our performance wasn't 100% because subconsciously the players, and maybe me too, were already thinking about this game. Mm-hmm. And so you maybe have a little bit of, I would say, it takes off you a little, maybe 1% of what you could do in MLS. But if tonight we win, it's gonna be worth it because it's gonna be a huge. We're gonna have our BC Place packed with 25,000 people, and it would be fantastic, to be honest, to win.
It's crazy because I have been working in MLS since 2016.
Oh, this is sad.
Vancouver is the only MLS city that I have not been to. I have never experienced a match at BC Place. And I know you guys, as you mentioned, I think you're expecting a sellout crowd there tonight. Can you, what is it like? What's the atmosphere like? And what are you anticipating on a night like tonight from the crowd, knowing that you could bring some hardware to this team and this city? What's it going to be like?
Well, I compare with the night that we had last year. So last year when I got the job at the middle of the season, was supposed to be for a few weeks. Then we made a miracle. We started winning every game. So and then we had last game that was decisive to go to the playoff, and we played our rival in MLS, Seattle, and the stadium was packed. And after 5 minutes, Seattle scored. And but I was with all the people there. I was so sure, say, it's gonna go good because with all this good vibe and support that the fans were giving us, it was really having a 12 man on the pitch. So I think that tonight is going to be the same. It's going to be really difficult because Toronto is a stellar team now. They bought fantastic players, but with the help of the fans, I think we have a chance.
Suze, yeah, I know I've told you this before, but it's my favorite away city
I know
in
she
MLS.
says this all the time.
It's worth
and
the
I'm
wait.
like, it's not fair.
It's worth the wait. Last question before we let you go, and we're asking you this because they're Italian, not because they're your opponent this evening.
Yeah.
Do you know there's been a good influx now of good Italian talent into Major League Soccer? Lorenzo Insigne and Federico Bernardeschi coming in. Do you know them at all?
Well, I don't know them very well. When I was in Italy, I played against Insigne once when I was assistant coach of Livorno. He was at Napoli.
Wow.
Federico Bernardeschi was too young when I still was in Italy, and Mimmo Criscito, that is the third one. He was in Russia, I think, when I was coaching in Italy, when he was playing in Russia. So, but I know them. Well, I have to be honest. I was last year when we won the Euro final. I won one of the guys celebrating here in Vancouver's Little Italy and chanting the name of Insigne and Bernardeschi because they helped us. So I hope that the fact that I supported them for last year and chanting their name, it's gonna I would say even up tonight with making them lose in the final. So that's the thing.
You know what? There's a lot of Italian flair in this final, and I'm so here for it. Vanni Sartini, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
There's not
Vanni.
many managers that would wake up on the morning of a big match and hang out with us. So we appreciate you and
Frida.
Yeah, and Frida.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Frida's the queen.
Here for this, well, on the note of the Vancouver Whitecaps and this incredible sellout crowd that they are anticipating for tonight's Canadian Championship match against TFC. they did something that I think is so kind of like kitschy and funny and cool
And
random, like totally random. So they have 3 designated players in Lucas Cavallini, Ryan Gold, and Andres Cubas. And so they decided that. So those guys are hosting a section at BC Place where if you have the name Lucas or Lucy, Ryan, or Andres or Andrea, you get a free ticket.
There's no female version of Ryan.
Do you know, I had a very good friend in high school, a girl named Ryan.
Could be Ryan.
So yeah. So it could go either way.
Interesting.
But I think it's kind of quirky and
what about
adorable and fun.
What about Vanni or Frida?
Frida should get you in like free
on the
to
bench
every game
to sit on to watch.
Yeah, exactly, or in like a suite.
Okay, here's my question on that: How many fake IDs?
How do you enforce it?
You checked your license.
Yeah, but what if I could just borrow somebody's and be like,
right? But that's what. How many people are there that are going to go that far? That's what those are the numbers I really.
I hope so.
How many diehard fans?
I think it would be so funny. Like the idea of sitting in a section where everybody has those names is just kind of hysterical.
Do you all then have to ask each other your names?
Like, which one are you?
Ryan.
Which one are you? Are you a Ryan? Are you a Lucas?
Whitecaps, A for effort.
I love it. It's different. And it's fun.
It is. What's on tap, like we mentioned, Canadian Championship Final. Where can you watch it? Very good question. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on onesoccer.ca. So that's where you can watch that. It's the week, though, Suze, of kind of like the domestic domestic games.
Tomorrow night, guys.
Domestic
US Open Cup semi-finals. Jill is going to be on the call for Orlando.
Right. I gotta get on my plane to Orlando. I know.
We got to wrap this up. But that is at 7:30 p.m. Followed by, this is great. This is like the only Cinderella team left in U.S. Open Cup. Sacramento taking on Sporting Kansas City. That's at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can watch both of those games on ESPN Plus.
What a double
I love these midweek matches where there's like a ton on the line.
Canada on Tuesday, America on Wednesday.
It's great.
Yes. It's great. And I'll be on the call, like you said, for that Orlando Red Bulls game. So this is my first live Open Cup experience. I'm very excited for this.
You're gonna crush it, girl. What a day. Thank you so much to Vanni Sartini and Frida. Thank you guys for tuning in, listening, watching. Thank you, Jill, for hosting in our lovely AT&T 5G
no problem. Studios. Well, thank you for coming over.
Because we're neighbors.
It was a photo finish for me. Follow Frida.
What's up, everybody? It is Susanna Collins and Jillian Sakovitz, co-hosts of The Call-Up. And if you want more Call-Up action, hit like and subscribe right here on YouTube, right there.
And also make sure that you download every episode of The Call-Up every single Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time or anywhere that you get your podcasts. And while you're here, why not check out some of these other videos as well?